Hello and welcome to the Economy This Week series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about important economic events which had happened in the past week, and this session is important for your GES 3 perspective. So we are going to discuss about the few important topic, and these are our points of discussion. So first of all, we are going to talk about the top 10 largest economies in the world, and in the comment section you have to tell me that is India part of top 10 largest economy or not, and you have to comment it now. Then we are going to talk about the corporate social responsibility, then we are going to talk about the industrial activity related to India, and then we are going to talk about the Coastal States Fisheries Meet 2025. So first we are going to talk about the top 10 largest economies of the world, and this is the news we have. Top 10 largest economies in the world, India remains fastest growing. So here we are going to talk about the India's rank, also other countries rank. So this is one of the IMF report which had talked about the top 10 largest economies. So here what that report had told, that despite of global uncertainty and tensions, India growth remains stable, but other countries growth is in danger and it's a worrisome situation. So global growth forecast has been revised down to 2.8% for 2025 to 3% for 2026. US economy is projected to grow at 1.8%, down 0.9 percentage points from last year's forecast. Eurozone growth is expected to 0.8%, a decline of 0.2 points. Emerging markets and developing economies are forecasted to grow by 3.7%, indicating a broad slowdown. Overall, while a recession is not forecasted, global growth remains underwhelming amid uncertainty and geopolitical risks. So, as you already know that here we had discussed that most of the countries' growth forecast has been lowered down because of the global uncertainty, because of the geopolitical tensions, wars going between the countries. Also, the Trump tariff policy is harming such kind of the things. Now we'll talk about the ranks of the countries. So here we have the list of the rank, and this particular thing is related to the and decided on the metrics of the GDP, because GDP is one of the finest metrics to decide the growth and growth size of an economy. So if you'll see that which is the first largest economy, then definitely US, then China is the second, then Germany is the third, and fortunately and strangely India is the fourth, and then Japan, then United Kingdom, France, Italy, Canada and Brazil. And what these ranks are showing, that many big countries, European countries, are not part of this particular table. So here we can see that India met at the fourth position. It means that India's growth remains stable and steady. Now we'll talk about the India's economic growth. So what this report and outlook had talked about the India's growth. So India's GDP growth forecast has slightly revised down by IMF. 2025 from 6.5% to 6.2%, 2026 from 6.3% to 6.2%. Growth remains stable and strong, driven by private consumption, especially in rural areas. And as you already know, the India's rank, it has become the fourth largest economy, and it is expected to become third by 2030. And India is projected to be the fastest growing major economy globally, despite of its having a lot of challenges. RBI also lowered its 2025 and 2026 real GDP growth estimate to 6.5 from 6.7. So this is about the India's global economic outlook. Now we'll talk about the ISGS Foundation course. As you already know that Drishti IAS is offering ISGS Foundation course, and it is providing in both the modes, online mode and offline mode. So if you want to avail this course, you can come to the Noida in offline mode. The classes has been begun, and we are providing classes in both the medium, Hindi medium and English medium. So if you have any queries, you can call us on 87501 87501. Also, this course is available on online mode Drishti Learning app, and we have upgraded few features on the ISGS Foundation course, such as AI quiz, AI summary, ask me a question. So you can also check that. Now we are going to discuss about the second topic, which is about the corporate social responsibility. So what is the news here, that after the 3-year stagnation, corporate social responsibility share has been increased, and various companies has contributed to the corporate social responsibility. So first of all, we should know that what is corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility is a management concept where companies integrate social, ethical, environmental, so that that can be helpful to the community also, to the society also, and in some way their business practice also. So if we'll talk about that, how much it has been rose, so corporate social responsibility has been rose by 16%, and in amount rupees 17,967 crore. So corporate social responsibility is generally understood as being the way through which a company achieves a balance of economic, environment and social imperative. So that's why it is called as triple bottom line approach, and what it includes: economic, environment and social imperatives. In this sense, it is important to draw distinction between CSR, which can be strategic also, because sometimes if any company is investing itself into any goodwill, so it has chances to reduce the poverty, it has chances to make impact on the society. On the other hand, the company also get its brand value, company also get its publicity. So it's a two-way method and two-way process in which both are benefiting each other. Now we'll talk about that which company has contributed how much. So HDFC Bank 945.31 crore, Reliance Industries 900 crore, TCS 827 crore, ONGC 634.57 crore, and CSR law mandate companies with a net worth, what you can say, less than more than an equivalent to rupees 500 crore, revenue more than an equivalent to 1000 crore, or net profit more than an equivalent to 5 crore must spend 2% of their average net profits. So this is also very much important last 3 years on CSR. So here spending trend, if you'll see, so stagnation was for 3 years, but it has triggered by 18% increase in average net profit. So if we'll talk about the total CSR requirement, so required was 18,309 crore, spent 17,967 crore. So here we can see the margin because of the unspent CSR amount. So we need to work that if companies are contributing, we must spend it so that it can reach it to the needy ones. Now we'll talk about the growth pangs on industrial activity. So here what we can see that at 4%, India's fiscal 2025 average of index of industrial production is at lowest in the past 4 years, and this is a worrisome situation. And what could be the reason? The reason could be very much uncertain, but here we can see the global economic outlook where so many geopolitical tensions are going on, tariffs are going on, and that is playing an important role and making an impact on Indian industries. So here we'll talk about that thing. So key reasons can be weak global demand, low consumption growth, reduced private investment, power output rose due to the summer demand, mining, manufacturing, electricity sectors showed slower growth. Notably, consumer non-durable shrank by 1.6%, indicating strained rural demand, while consumer durable rose to 8%, suggesting strong urban consumption. So here what we have to work on that why there is a low rural demand. So here we need to increase consumption among the rural population. Then despite record low inflation and reduced lending rates, private investment remained cautious due to economic uncertainties. Goods exports have remained flat, impacting MSME sector, which plays a major role in export and employment. So with strained ties with the US because of the reciprocal tariff, India has been also smashed 27% tariff. India must strengthen its MSME, and if not US, then we must find out another partner. India must look into its direction that it can self independently also strengthen its MSME. So here we had discussed about the MSME because MSME has great potential to create job, create market. Now we'll talk about the Coastal State Fisheries Meet, and this is the news we have. Coastal State Fisheries Meet 2025, 5th Fisheries Census launched, Aqua Insurance unveiled. So in this we'll talk about the Aqua Insurance. So India launched the 5th Marine Fisheries Census on April 28, aiming to digitally document 1.2 million fisher households across 3,500 coastal villages. And for the first time, the census uses a real-time app-based system which is known as Vyas Nav, and it has been developed by ICAR, CMFRI, and it has enabled geo-reference data collection and verification. So whenever they will ask that Vyas now is related to, so it is related to the marine fisheries census and marine ecosystem, if there will be options like that. So here if we talk about that, what are the other highlights about this particular meet? So the census will gather detailed information about the fishing families, crafts, gear, harbors and socio-economic condition. So this is very much important. They are not just going to document about the fishery ecosystem, they are also going to talk about the livelihoods of the fishers family. And here first ever they had introduced the, what you can say, first ever aquaculture insurance scheme, which is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Krishi Sahayak Yojana, and this is what you can say, comprehensive coverage to aqua farmers against natural disaster, diseases and financial risk. Such kind of Kishan Mitra, such kind of things has been also introduced, who are the land farmers, and this is for the first time such insurance has been given to the aqua farmers, which will be another boosting factor for them, because many times you can see due to bad weather, due to some what you can say, border politics, they are always into the economic strain, and if there is a loss of the, what you can say, their products because of the bad weather, because of the border politics, because of the other factors, then they have this insurance scheme. Additionally, projects worth rupees 255 crore were inaugurated for 7 coastal states and union territories. So this is about the census. Now we are going to talk about the practice question for prelims. Consider the following statement about India's index of industrial production in financial year 2025. IAP average growth was the highest in the last 4 years. Consumer non-durable showed negative growth. Power production growth played a major role in the March uptick. Which of the above statement is are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So you can answer. Then we are going to talk about the second one. Which of the following statement is true about the 5th marine fisheries census? It will cover only inland fishing household. The data will be collected via paper forms. It will use a mobile app for geo-reference data collection. It will be conducted every year. So this also we had discussed, you can answer. And then we are going to talk about the third one. The triple bottom line approach includes which of the following pillars? Economic, social, environment, technology. This we are going to talk about the corporate social responsibility. So in the context of corporate social responsibility, you have to answer this. Your options are 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, 2, 3 and 4 only, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you have to answer. Then we are going to talk about the last one with reference to IMF World Economic Outlook. Consider the following statement. The global economy has stabilized but is growing at underwhelming rates. The IMF has revised the global growth forecast for 2025 and 2026 downward due to the trade tensions and global uncertainty. The revised forecast for global growth in 2025 is 3.5%, up by 0.5 percentage points from the previous estimate. Which of the statement given above is are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So you can answer into the comment section. And what are the key highlights of today's discussion? So key highlight of the today's discussion is the top 10 largest economy, then aquaculture, then what you can say, aqua farmers insurance. You need to know about that particular scheme. So these are the highlights of today's discussion, which you have to revise it again and again for your prelims examination. So that's it for today's session. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to this session, kindly ask into the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.